When you look out the window and prepare for your day, the first thing you check for is the weather. Well, because of the effects that humans have had on the Earth, that weather might change and climates might also. We have hot button topics like climate change and the energy crisis that are talking about all around the world and how it might affect the future generations. The story that we're covering today tries to take a good look at that and suggests what might happen if we let the Earth keep falling to the wayside like it is now. The story is called Project Icarus. The story begins in the 22nd century on an overpopulated Earth. There are now 11 billion people and most natural resources have been used up. Wealthy countries have stayed alive using smaller yielding resources, but this is found to be unmaintainable. They turn to solar and fusion energy to try to fix this problem, but find this is also unmaintainable and a worldwide financial crisis ensues. Developed countries are capable of helping their populations and stay fed, but most countries are unable to do so and begin to collapse. Climate change also wreaks havoc among these societies as droughts ensue and massive flooding destroys the coastal cities. Due to these issues, the United States goes to war in the Arctic to take control of natural resources and precious metals. This means that even in the United States, you are doomed to either poverty or to be a grunt in a war. Even with all these issues, we find that financial inequality is still around as the rich get special treatment and get special privileges. Due to this crisis, theoretical physicists begin to try to study new kinds of energy. They discover that there are particles that have a value called quase. With this, they could theoretically break the law of conservation of energy and have an unlimited resource of energy. By accelerating particles to the speed of light, they are able to do this and be able to try to change society and save humanity. After this discovery, government workers and scientists proclaim that they can save humanity using this power source. Yet at this time, other scientists began to warn of issues that could create a collapse of space-time using these particles. In response, these scientists were ridiculed and then began to disappear in what are called accidents. Soon after, we discover that those scientists were correct and a catastrophic event occurs. A void is created and grows quickly within hours, destroying the Earth as a whole. The final paragraph then notes that the Project Icarus was not actually something that was supposed to stop the extinction of humans, but just stop the hellish lifestyle that they had been living. Then it begins to note that this was just a secret and well-planned suicide for the humans on Earth. And it makes you wonder that if this was something that was completely intentional to destroy what was left of the dying humanity that was left on Earth. So that is the story of Project Icarus. It is a grim story about the doomed society that we have due to the fact that we are not treating the Earth correctly. It is very reminiscent of the colliders that we use now to be able to accelerate particles, and it also kind of talks about a lot of these issues that we talk about with black holes and the possibility of having these because of the science that we are doing. So with that, I think I'm going to give this story a good rating. The story does use a lot of scientific information, which I ended up having to actually go ahead and check out outside of my actual reading just to make sure that I understood things correctly. But I do think that this works in its favor because it gives you more of an actual feeling that this story is based in reality. And in a lot of ways, a lot of the science is based in some kind of reality, but then goes through and changes things up and delves in the realm of science fiction, not to its detriment, but to its success. This does make you think about what might possibly happen though, as we take the Earth for granted and do not do much to try to protect it. It makes you think about what my generation and the generations after that will inherit, if there's anything to inherit at all. Science can definitely run awry, and there has been times where we have seen where there have been issues with experiments and other things of that nature. Definitely not to this level, obviously, but it makes you think that this might actually happen if we are not careful. And that's why I think this is a good story, because it has a very strong lasting effect, but just doesn't have enough to bring it to the next level. So next time you make a decision about your energy and what kind of car you drive and other things of that nature, think about events like this and the possibility of them happening. We never know what the Earth might have in store for us if we keep treating it this way, but we know for sure that it will be catastrophic and more than likely could be the end of us all.